or watches the VOD that's cut into like multiple segments, which I'll be removing the smaller ones off of my channel, my power went out because of human error. So I had to start my computer back up. I don't remember if I have all of my stuff open, but it looks like my Mac recovered everything. I'm back. And I think everybody's here. I don't think there's gonna be any fighting in this game by the looks of it, so just decide kind of where you want things to go today, whether it's a weird shopping journey or like entirely role play, or whether you want to plan out like what your characters need to be able to succeed against the most powerful force in the world. Like essentially you're going to go fight the Empire if we're talking Star Wars.
First of all,
I require an old ghostly man speaking into my ear.
You do have that.
Oh.
I want Sable back.
Ooh.
I have a second request. A talisman that has the name of a pit fiend.
Yeah, I mean, Cybolt's on the table. A talisman that has the name of a pit fiend on it is maybe a little bit tricky to deal with, but there are some things that I think that you could always like plan that with either like Asmodeus or with Arkin and see what happens, you know?
Let's start at the beginning, like roll call style, because it's been 12 minutes. Is everybody back? Can I just get some sort of a sound off from everybody?
Mia. Yeah.
Hi.
Claire and obviously I got one from Nakare, so I guess I just need Claire Bear. Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to shut down discussion, but I was like, shit, we should wait till everybody's back before we start ironing stuff out.
Fair Bear is downstairs. There.
Okay, does she have an ETA?
Soon. But like there's a
TM.
trademark after it.
Yeah, soon TM. Okay, fair enough. So out of the people who are here, because everybody else weighed in, does everybody at least know an idea as to if they could have a thing, like what general direction it would be? Not necessarily what it would be, but like, does everybody have an idea? Does anybody need help? Is anybody confused about our two options that we have laid out in front of us as far as storyline goes?
A little bit confused about the two options, yes.
Okay.
We'll save it in case Claire has the same confusion.
What do you mean
but at least
the direction?
So basically, I sent you a whisper in Roll20. I don't know if you see it, but
yeah, I got that.
The idea there is, at least from what I got from this, and Spencer, this is a great time to have you correct me where I'm wrong, is Arkin is basically giving us the two most logical options for help that he can think of, which is either we go get Thokan's group of, foot soldiers to support us in this effort, not really knowing if Thokan is trustworthy due to the fact that he's now like an undead monstrosity or whatever. Or we go to Einar, who is some sort of power-mongering warlord, essentially. But he hasn't really... I guess it would be unfair to call him a warlord because he hasn't started a war. He's building power and building power and building power. And in order to assault Thay, we're going to need one of two armies. And it's up to us which one we choose. So that's what I mean by the decision as far as which path we would take.
So we don't have that much information in terms of, like, what is the army, really.
Right, it sounded like, and Spencer, this is, I guess, where you could best weigh in.
Yeah,
It sounded like maybe the Thokan side of things was a bit more diplomatic because it was expressly mentioned that the Einar side of thing would be dangerous, right? Due to whether it's the terrain or the people there or whatever. So
Yeah.
What do you mean diplomatic?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like admission to talk to Thokan versus like fighting through to Einar?
maybe.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, but
Can-
okay. So Spencer said
Yeah.
yes, so yes.
Okay, so look, so first off, I just want to say that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. I think I made it sound like it had to be one or the other. This is kind of us, wrapping up to a very challenging like finale that I think that that Arkin made pretty clear is probably going to be some sort of like dungeon assault. And so, the allies that you make are like, you are required to at least get some to be able to even like keep the forces of Thay occupied long enough for you all to reach your destination, which we'll kind of cover more.
So whether it's Einar or Thokan or both, they are the the fellowship, and we are Frodo and Sam.
Exactly.
We are the insert team. We need to go accomplish what we need to accomplish while everybody else is doing the other thing.
Yeah.
It's not what I meant. I'm saying, what are the armies?
Okay.
We're currently looking for a dude who gave the book of like necromancy. Like, there's a lot of necromancy happening. If one of them is the Fellowship of the Paladins, it would make more sense to gain the power of the Fellowship of the Paladins against the forces of darkness. If one of them is the forces of violent guys with axes, that's nice, but probably wouldn't be as helpful to us as the Brotherhood of Light. That's what I mean.
Totally a reason.
Are they?
Can I ask you to put that in your back pocket and bring that up when we talk about it in character?
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as Einar is concerned, like, I want to make clear what you know so far is you've already met, like, he's working with monsters, so his army is primarily monsters that are utterly at his command. He also, I think that he has the Ring of Winter as well, which makes him even more formidable.
Okay. And so
Okay.
what was the second part about the items? What do you mean?
So there's a couple ways that we can go about like items. So that was shorthand for me covering something we talked about in the last game, how the weapons that were passed down from White Plume Mountain were not necessarily suited to your characters. They don't feel personalized. You're not connected to them in any way. So this is a shorthand of me letting the group take control of the story, particularly for the next like handful of sessions, as to, like, where do you get your loot from? So Arkin basically mentioned that he can help you find ways to gather those stones to empower your own items into more powerful versions of what you already have. Those gems of brightness. But he also happens to know a lot of ancient lore, and that's something I didn't say in character. But I can essentially point you towards like even what Ryan was saying. Like, I want an amulet that summons a pit fiend or something like that. Like, if it's that, sure, I'm gonna probably have a lot more catches to it and a lot of like, well, this and not this sort of things. But this is where you're like, if we had this thing, it would change everything. Or one of you in character could say, I heard about this ancient artifact that was lost. It's something that I've been looking for my whole life. Do you think this guy would know where to find it? I think it would resolve this situation. You don't have to like have an NPC point you to something. You can say like, my character wants this thing anyway, and I think it would help. Am I making any sense?
No, I get you.
Okay.
That makes sense. So what So is this? It's both out of character and in character. It seems.
Yeah, I think the general idea would be figure out what it is you would want in some sort of out of character perspective, and then let's have a let's have a party conversation about the other side of things. So the item thing isn't necessarily a thing that we would need to have in character. That's something personal to you. If you're playing a barbarian and you go on a badass dungeon dive and you come out with a +3 rapier, you're going to be like, fuck, what am I going to do with this thing? If you didn't find the +3 rapier, what did you want to find? What do you think you would, if it was perfectly catered to you, do you have an idea for what that is? And answer that to yourself. That's the out of character part. Probably that's probably something we can do much later, or whenever, or directly to Spencer, however you want to handle it.
Right.
But the in character part would be the part that hopefully we're going to kick off here shortly. That would be which path would you prefer to follow?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everybody's thinking about what it is they want, so they don't make a rash decision and then be like, "Fuck, I don't want this thing."
Right.
Okay, I got you.
And that
Okay.
also decides on like how much longer the game goes on for as a whole too. Because if you're like, well, we want to do every possible thing, like you want to treat it like a video game where you're grinding your characters until you can do every possible thing I
Sure.
feel is left there. You can do that too.
Yeah, Spencer, we'd like to 100% this campaign, so
Yeah.
we need to do all the side quests.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
If I didn't mention
I
I'm picking
would
every
like to-
flower we come across, I'm picking
would like to
every
reach-
flower.
I would like to reach level 20 if that's okay.
Well, no, when the new
does
expansion
anybody
comes out, you'll get a
feel-
level boost anyway. So
Does anybody feel unprepared to have the in-character conversation about which path they would follow, and is there a reason why that we could help with? Good. Okay, I'm just going to take the silence to mean no. Think about your items, because it's 9:53, so there's a good chance that this isn't going to take super long, and afterwards you might need to be able to speak or be called to the line. And if you don't know, take something you like, and maybe we can do that whole thing that he mentioned, with the machine from Strait's Gallows, where like, I really like this item, I'd just like a souped up version of it.
yeah, exactly. Like this is so that you don't have to like go find a better version of the thing that already gives your character the flavor that you like.
Wizards missed an opportunity with the Rod of Security. They should have made it a blanket.
Yeah, absolutely. It should absolutely be a sentient item that tells you everything's going to be fine.
That just burritos your character up.
Oh, no, it's like basically, what is the big fluffy white dude from Big Hero 6?
I was thinking of like the brave little toaster.
Baymax or something like that?
Baymax.
It's something like
Baymax.
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 I haven't seen it. So
And yeah,
It's Baymax.
I'm way more familiar with the Brave Little Toaster, but I, for some reason, know that reference. Brave Little Toaster, scariest children's movie of all time.
I've not seen
That
it.
air conditioner commits suicide.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so, okay, cool. If everybody feels ready, then we can probably,
Okay, so all of you are
Call the meeting
standing
back to
in this
order.
starlit garden. There's like silvery little creeks, like a network of little creeks that are running, run off from what I'm sure Laura can point out is a massive forge that has been constructed here. You can still see like remnants of Nethery's magic kind of drifting off of the trees and the buildings here. It's almost as if it's being purified. And yeah, you're wandering through this garden having this discussion.
Yeah, as a matter of precursor, I'm going to ask Nine to fold up the mushroom and take it for a walk. I don't want it to hear the things we're going to say.
Okay. I'll go play with this weird animal that has 5 heads. Goodbye. There, he chases after a deer that has 5 heads.
Perfect.
Presumably Red is under the custody of Arkin, so I'm not playing 2 characters.
Yeah, I think he's like, let's go have a talk.
I think it's up to you as to which character you like, I hate to be the one that says, like, pick your poison, but it might make sense for whichever character you're going to play to be here. Is that confirmation you're going to?
yeah.
I forget. Are you a human or a furbolg?
Oh
I'm
gosh.
gonna be playing Laura.
Yeah, we hold out. There's a man holding a book saying, "And who are you?" And then you start like going through a character selector. Okay.
And my nose is about this big, and I have this. No, wait, this tattoo.
All right. So I am sorry. This is more of the like open world, like pick your poison scene, but that's just what needs to happen for me to understand what you want.
Well, I think it makes sense if we have that discussion in character, because then we are picking our poisons. So that was my idea behind it. Unless somebody has an objection, I think we'll just dive right the fuck into it.
Can I go first?
Sure. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Arkin leads 9, the mushroom, and Red away, and we are all left sitting around some sort of set of stone benches with, I don't know, a fountain in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds delightful.
Declan goes to speak, and then Laura says...
So Laura takes out, she draws the electric blade, and she says, "So, I've been wanting to talk to y'all about," or she doesn't say y'all, "I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this. I kind of ruined my grandfather's blade, and I need to fix it. And I need your help."
How did you ruin it?
Back in... oh gosh, what's it called? Back in Strade's Gallows with...
Oh, with the machine thingy?
yeah, it's not supposed to be like this.
Why can't it stay like that?
It's just not the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
It has a mind of its own, and the sword is very sad.
Oh. That sounds really sad.
I infused it with lightning magic, and I shouldn't have done that. And I need to fix my mistakes.
What does the sword look like when you pull it out? Like, what's...
It's a big, long sword, and it's all, the blade is made of lightning. It's all like lightning noises.
So
is there no physical blade to speak of? It's literally just energy?
Yes.
It's a non-lightsaber. It's a electro saber.
Lightning saber.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Declan will speak up. You think that's something he can fix? He said he has a machine that's like the one that we found. He might be able to undo whatever you did.
Maybe. We used the similar machine to do this, so it might... maybe we could use the same technique to purify it.
Mm-hmm. I think you know the
Makes
basics of his... I gave Laura proficiency in smithing. So, Laura, you definitely have knowledge of this sort of thing as well. You're kind of part forge cleric, but not.
Do we need another crystal for that? Like, is that what we have to do to help? Go find a crystal?
He did mention
think
that
so.
he would need some sort of material. I don't know where we could find that kind of a thing, but
A gem of brightness. Or at least that's what everybody keeps calling it.
Maybe he can just tell us where to get one and then go and pick it up and come back and fix your sword.
the city appears big. Maybe we could even buy one. We certainly, and he points at the struggling carpet of flying with all the gold on it. Got to do something with that. We can't, you can't take it with you.
We
Oh,
could
sure,
convert all that to trade goods, but
Sure.
yeah.
How's your thing, by the way? You okay?
You mean my addiction?
Yeah, the last time I saw you, you attacked me, and I get it, but you seem better. But I want to know. I need to know before we do whatever the hell this is we're going to do.
Arkans helped me get some of it out of my system. I'm not sure if I would be able to resist if I encountered some. But I think right now I'm okay.
If I look at her and try to take that in, can I make some kind of an insight check to see if she's feeling okay?
Yeah, I mean, insight would be to tell her actual, feelings on the matter, and then like a medicine check would be to get a more factual, assessment.
Can Many do a medicine check and actually try to sneakily poke and prod at her?
Yeah, you're
I
feeling
totally
her temperature,
believe you.
her pulse, and stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing. Felt like holding your wrist.
Oh, Laura, it's fine. As you rest 2 fingers on her neck.
Yeah.
It's totally normal.
Many.
I'm not doing
You've
anything.
never been this physical before.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, your hair is so nice. Let me just touch your forehead. Yeah, no, it really is. It really is basically like someone who has recovered from an opioid addiction. They don't she's definitely not suffering from any really physical issues and any psychosis. Or maybe it's more like a meth addiction. She's not suffering from any psychosis from it anymore. But yeah, obviously there's going to be times of stress where drugs would feel like the answer to her problem.
So to describe her appearance, she's looking kind of pale, and actually, how would you describe, Claire, what I look like right now? Because I imagine that's pretty accurate to what Laura's going through.
No, she looks beautiful and radiant as always, so...
That's going in the highlight reel.
Wow.
Declan wipes a tear away. He's not sure where it came from.
Yeah, but no, I think that's what it is. She seems fine. You've judged her mental health just by talking to her, and then her physical health seems great. So she seems more fit than ever. She seems. You're still dexterity based, right? Emiya?
Yeah.
Okay. So she seems like physically the same, but mentally she seems to kind of be almost entirely different, same personality, but she's got a whole different set of like coping mechanisms and tools.
She seems to be at peace,
Mm-hmm.
which is not really something that is normal for Laura.
She's a Jedi. No, a Jedi. She's kind of just gotten done with being a Padawan, even though that was only a short amount of time.
Okay, fair enough. So we've kind of gauged that situation. Benny with the clutch roll. So I guess it would make sense to pry then about the. So out of the two options we have, what do you think? Where should we go? You've got your grandfather, who I don't know how much you can trust, but he's and I guess he'll look at many. We know we can at least trust a few of the people that are with him, but this other guy, we don't know. It's an unknown.
I'm not ready to give up on my grandfather just yet.
Personally, I don't trust him, but I don't want my brother and that other guy to, like, follow
That
him
other guy.
just blindly. I don't want to leave them to him.
I think, I mean, I don't know much about the thing he's running, but I think if he got too far out of bounds, there are enough people who probably think what your brother thinks that they could step in. I don't trust him either, but if the people behind him are solid, then
I don't know, maybe that super smart dude over there said that this is maybe a way to save Mimi too, so that could be like a selling point and maybe a way to make him more trustworthy, like, giving him a reason to help us, and maybe a way to help save himself if he has any good left in him.
Laura, your grandmother kidnapped my daughter. Are you going to have any issue if I gut her? Because we should talk about that before it potentially happens.
No comment. I have nothing to say.
Oh.
Well, can I just be the first one to say? He stands up and peels what's left of his, like, rotted, burned, acid-drenched breastplate off of himself and throws it on the ground. I'm getting a little bit fucking sick of getting attacked without a conversation first, so let's maybe have the conversation. Doesn't have to be right now, but if anybody wants to punch me or hit me or apparently scratch the shit out of me, can we maybe have that conversation before it actually happens, because this is getting a little old.
Yeah, who is that hussy, by the way?
That hussy.
Oh shit. Oh shit!
We found her in prison with that guy over there and my brother and that other guy. You weren't there. It was really, really close to after you left, actually.
That's convenient.
I know, right? It's like things were tied together somehow.
What do you think? This is some sort of game?
And, sorry, I don't think I've introduced myself to you. And she turns to Herschel. My name is Laura Lightwind. I'm a friend.
pleased to meet you then. Better than the other new people. Not this group, but everyone we found in the place we were just at.
Ed, can I have you make a religion check? Maybe not.
I'll chime in while the check happens.
Okay.
Yeah, we found both of them. They were locked in cages and may have had a lot to do with letting them out. But either way, they've been useful and strong, and from what I can tell, they both seem like good people. She's, and he points off in the distance, she doesn't really put up with a lot, but I get it. She's got a good head on her shoulders. You should trust her. I mean, I do.
Okay. That sounds like a... Well, what's the word? A pretty strong review from you.
5
And
stars.
if you trust her, I trust her.
Ryan, are you around to make
shit.
that religion check?
What if I trust her?
Hey, Spencer wanted you to make a religion check if you get a second. To Ryan/Ed.
Oh yeah, Ed. Of course you can have an elk.
Yes!
Okay. I think
don't even know if
that
that-
you would have advantage based on your armor/background anyway, so that's not really that tricky. You are like thinking back over something that's been bothering you since you went through that gate, and it was one vision that you had seen of the throne room of Einar. And you remember like this bull-like figure standing next to Einar, or what you assume was Einar. That is, I mean, it feels like that might be something familiar to you. You've read about it before. It might be an archdevil, although you've forgotten like its common name. So you don't know if that's linked to you somehow. So I just wanted to give you that. There you go.
Okay.
Now you can continue doing what you're doing, gang. I just need to give Ed something to have.
Yeah, totally. So I guess Laura called on Herschel to introduce himself. Is there anything specific Herschel wants to say? I mean, Rob, this is a good point because we were specifically talking about like which path do you want to take, and she introduced herself. Are you ready? Would your character want to weigh in about which of the two options he thinks is best?
Honestly, he wouldn't really be sure since he doesn't have as deep as a history that everyone else seems to know
Totally.
about.
Yeah.
Like, I have this explanation, which is nice. But everyone else seems to have, like, an experience that goes back months. Possibly years with this kind of information. So he doesn't really feel like he really should know much about it or make a good decision. I mean, it seems like the Einar side might make more sense, but again, Herschel himself doesn't have much experience with these people.
Would you be more comfortable weighing in after you kind of see like the way the winds are blowing? Because like if you don't know them, you might
that.
Yeah,
I'd probably
like
wait for the people who know to first like their explanations of it.
Totally reasonable. Okay, so Laura's weighed in and expressed not wanting to give up on her grandfather. This also directly, I guess, affects you, right? This is a guy leading your brother, and who knows how many other countless good people, some of which you know. Do you have a strong opinion on it, one way or the other?
Yeah, she wants to go and make sure that they are fighting something that's worth fighting for, and that he's not evil.
Cool. Give it to me here. So, I guess after Laura says her thing, Laura, was there anything else you wanted to wrap up with before like the I'm not giving up on my grandfather thing was kind of intense and impactful.
I think that's all I have to say for now.
So
I know nothing about Einar.
yeah, I mean,
Wait.
oh, go ahead.
No, it's unrelated. I'll put it in chat. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. No, it's fine. Yeah, so I mean, if Declan's moderating, he'll turn towards Manny and say, you know, your brother and that other guy. I mean, they fucked up, but doesn't seem like they did it on purpose. Can we count on them? Are they smart enough to know if this is bad, and it turns out that her grandpap's no good? I mean, are they gonna blindly follow him?
I don't know. I feel like after the conversation that we had with them, I don't know. And I'm never really sure about what Graham's gonna do, but my brother is trustworthy.
So what do you think? Which, if you had your choice, one of these two is gonna follow us here, or at least help us out.
Well, like I said before, I'd like to have my brother at my side, and I'd want to make sure that he's not. I don't know. I don't trust Thokan. And as much as I want to help all those beasts that seem like they're kind of brainwashed by Einar, I guess I know is now his name. I don't know. I mean, we can go do that too, but I want my brother.
I mean, I get it. I am. And Declan's going to turn to Laura, I guess. I trusted you, and that didn't work out so good. Trusted your grandfather, and that didn't work out so good. Trusted your grandmother, trusted her friends. It seems like every time. I don't know how many more times I have to do this before I learn my lesson, but I understand where you're coming from. My family's wrapped up in this too, and I never asked for it to be, just like you didn't, and I think I understand a little bit more what it's like to come from that place. I think if we want to win, we should march north and find this Einar, and if he backs us, great, but if there's anything left of your grandfather, if he's to be trusted or can offer us any help, he needs to be ready, because if this Einar person succeeds, it sounds like everybody's in for trouble. I don't want to lead. If you think we should go to your grandfather, then I'll follow you.
This is really appropriate music. Actually, it's called Love Song, so I don't know, maybe it's not very
I've got my own music on, I didn't even hear it.
No, whenever you're having your like monologues, it's always like at the same cadence of the music. It's really funny.
Oh, cool.
I definitely think that going to Thokan, sorry, she doesn't say Thokan. I definitely think that going to my grandfather is the best choice.
As a matter of clarification, you do realize that there is a version of this where we have to kill both of them, right? Your grandmother and your grandfather. I understand that you love them, and I don't know what your history entails, but they went to where I live and took my daughter away and dragged her into this, which is the only thing I've been trying to avoid for nearly 20 years. And I don't need answers. I'm not going to. But if she doesn't come out of there okay, then neither do they. And you need to understand that now, because he points to like the slash marks and the spiritual weapon bruise on the side of his head. I'm sick of being questioned for doing what needs to be done, and they made this personal. I didn't.
I agree with you.
I'm not asking you to take part in it, but you need to understand where I'm coming from. If they do anything to her, one of us doesn't walk away. And I'm not much of a betting man, but I'd hate to be them right now. We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Declan, I don't think you realize the situation I'm in. Cause... oh fuck, I forgot his name. Somehow I forgot Laura's dad's name.
Oh,
No.
Cause... Fino killed my mom. I know what you're going through. And I agree with you. Also,
Everyone is just.
Laura reaches into her bag and takes out Declan's flask that she's been holding for the past just over a week. Sarah, what are you doing typing?
It's in your head.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh no.
Flask.
The flask.
She hands Declan his flask and says, I don't have any use of this anymore. Please take good care of it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll take it and look at it and look at you, and assuming we're close enough to the edge for this to be a thing, he'll turn and just throw it off the edge of the flying mountain. Well, if you don't have a use for it, I don't either. Let's call it even. You quit, I quit. Fair?
Laura smiles and she hugs Declan.
Oh.
Just
Oh,
big hug. Because this is something that I've been fucking... another thing I've been holding on to for the fucking couple weeks. No, wait, week and one day.
Yeah, he's kind of like that, arms at his sides, like, oh god, but eventually, yeah, he'll just kind of throw his arms up around you and give you, like, 2 soft pats on the head and say, friends don't fight, but families do. And, I don't know what's wrong with your family, but I'm gonna do my best to help. Okay? I can't promise I can fix it. I can't promise I can hold myself back if one of them fucks with me, but I don't know. I guess I'm just happy to see you again. Thank you for coming back.
I missed you. All of you.
We missed you too.
Except Ed. Shocking.
Ed probably didn't miss you. It's fine. Speaking of Ed, Declan will kind of like, with the arms at his side thing, kind of like lean back. Hey, Ed. That bag of heads, by the way, I probably don't need that anymore. You could feel free to dump that. Do you want to weigh in?
What?
Yeah, I forgot we had a bag of heads.
There was a thing.
What were you doing with a bag of heads?
They kidnapped my little girl, and we killed the only people who might know where she was. So I overreacted, and the big guy over there, cue, I don't know, number 9, like slow dancing, like holding,
Chasing butterflies.
like Chad, as he like spins him around in circles and tries to keep him confused. But I might have overreacted a little bit. I wanted to talk to them, and they were dead, and it seemed like the only thing that made sense was to bring. I don't know. What do you want from me? This is why I don't want to lead. I can't make these decisions.
Whatever. It's fine. You have your kinks, and you have your kinks, I have mine.
Okay, he says as he like slides out of the hug.
The hug was still happening.
So, Ed, do you want to
I
weigh
kind
in?
of assumed it had ended at this point.
No, I'd like to imagine it's gone on way too long. Ed, do you want to weigh in as far as like what the things that you're looking for, or which path you think is right?
I think he's dead in the internet.
I mean, maybe, like, this was, I don't know, is it too boring for the boy? Oh well. Whoopsie.
I hope not. I'm enjoying the shit out of this, and if anybody's not, just, put your foot down and we'll move on, but...
Alright, well,
I remember he was saying that he had to go help his parents with something, but I didn't think it would take that long.
Okay.
So let's
maybe-
pretend like that didn't happen. Yeah. I think Declan will loosen himself from the hug and kind of slide back, and is condescending. This is probably condescending, but as condescending as this might be, he's going to drop to a knee and turn to Maeve and say, "What do you think? What do you think we should do? If you had to choose, just be honest and just say what you're really thinking." Yeah, so he drops to a knee and then for the first time realizes that she's floating, and he's like, "Ugh!" Like a real awkward, like, why is this happening now? Is Claire dead too?
Dropping like flies.
Clara, you're dead.
I'm
Oh no.
dead. Oh no.
I didn't realize. Like, I guess I didn't notice when there was just the thump when
Oh,
she
no.
landed on the floor. I thought
Yeah,
it was
Spencer,
just
never
ambiance.
be self-conscious about 2 hours of exposition, because apparently 30 minutes of roleplay is enough to induce suicide. People just diving off cliffs.
I'm trying to let you all have the stage and do less talking at the moment, but
It has been working, but okay. So, Maeve, did you hear that whole bit? Do you need any of
I
that?
missed your last bit.
So basically, he's dropping to a knee, realizing she's levitating, and being like, "Ah, shit!" Like every time he wants to be like, "Oh, this poor little girl," he's like, "Oh no." But essentially, he's just trying to treat her like another adult in the room. He's just saying, "What do you think? What does your gut tell you? What do you think we should do?"
I think we should go and see Einar. If he's an emperor, he has a lot of power. And I don't know if we can trust paladins. They haven't worked out great so far.
Yeah, this one. He doesn't have a great track record with you.
I like Laura's reaction.
Hold on, wait. What's Laura's reaction?
Chat.
Oh shit.
Because, she's a paladin now.
Ah!
Jesus Christ.
But Maeve doesn't know she's a paladin.
What's a paladin?
Too many fucking sorcerers.
So yeah, Maeve throws her lot in for axes over holy swords because axes are cool. And what other possible reason could someone have for something?
I think they are
Take care
both
of
totally
something. What did I
reasonable
miss?
offers. Okay, so basically we're just talking about which path you'd rather take. That ping I sent you like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious if Ed would come in
well, I'd probably
on
go
one
to
side of that
Einar
fence.
because fucking barbarians and axes sounds pretty cool.
Sure. Do you want to explain why Ed would feel that way?
Natural
I don't know.
instinct.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, if Declan were to reach over and say, like, Ed, you're the only one who hasn't weighed in. What do you think we should do? What would Ed say?
So, I'm honestly just gonna go with the opinion that Einar is extremely likely to betray us, and it also, Thokan is
Sure.
likely to betray us, and it might be best just to have an army going in just in case it doesn't go well.
Yeah, like fuck the alignment, body on body, right? Like it doesn't matter where we get help from as long as something is fighting the other thing.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I mean, I guess that probably wraps up the discussion.
Okay.
We can put what we had resulted in, but
Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna go find Einar, which is definitely the more, interesting, chaotic route. I like it.
I think there was a 50-50 split.
Well, maybe you have to do both.
Did
oh wait,
Declan
oh
vote?
shit, no, I'm sorry, I forgot about Herschel. Because we were waiting until with Herschel, everybody waited and Rob, do you know, what would Herschel do? WWHD bracelet. I have one.
From a neutral standpoint, and just from what I've heard, the only choice that I could see right now would be with Einar, mainly because there's a lot of negatives possible with Thokan, and there's also the possibility of, well, the only positive is that he is family with one of our members, but the rest is extremely risky to go through that route, at least immediately. Maybe things might change, but I don't think we have the time to be risking everything on a riskier path, I suppose.
Yeah, totally.
So I'd have to say probably with Einar.
Okay.
So I think if the vote is 3-2, Einar over Thokan, Maeve Ed, Herschel to Laura Many, Declan will go over to Laura and just, again do his like super, I guess, condescending drop to a knee and say like,
Sorry, to Laura? You said
Yes.
or to Manny?
no, to Laura, because I'm assuming she's sitting, but if not, then just face to face. Get it? You don't want to give up on your grandfather, and just in a way, I'm never going to give up on her, but we don't need morally acceptable fighters. We need bodies. We need a distraction. And if you think you can trust your grandfather, he needs to be ready for what this army's going to do when it's done in Thay. Because if this guy, this Einar, isn't as peaceful as he's made out to be, they need to be ready. I know we're fighting a war and you should only focus on the thing in front of you, but there's a very real chance that if they take this place down, then they're not just going to stop. If these are monsters and morally ambiguous figures, they're not just going to turn around and go home. I'm going to side with this Einar idea. My conscience will feel better if those that are dying aren't people that came here with us, not our family, not our friends. Somebody has an army of monsters to throw against an army of monsters. My opinion is let them have it.
Sounds good. Okay. So at that, Arcanon reappears. He says, "Okay, well, I set a timer for when you all were done having this conversation. So let's talk about how I can help you get what you need. Have you decided? I mean, it sounds like, well, I assume you know who you want to work with, but do you know what you're going to need in order to be ready to fight?" Are you
Anybody who has prepared that idea, please present it at this time.
If you haven't, he says your allies might be able to shine some light on that as well, unless you want me to directly tell you some ideas that I have.
I've already gotten everything from Arkin that I need.
All right. Fair enough. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. He looks at all of you and says, "Well, I assume that's, and hey, Herschel, there's no saying that can't happen. You literally have Alarad's old staff of power." So, just...
That happened?
I have it. I don't remember how I got it.
Yeah.
What?
The general impact zone of people like, I don't know if I can use this.
Well, no, I can use it. I just like the only cantrip I have that is useful now is fire. So
Oh, you
I don't
have
know.
the Staff of Ice. I guess.
And Staff of Frost.
Did the
Yeah.
bird have the Staff of Power? Dang it, that bird had.
Oh,
That
all
bird
the old
didn't have a staff of power.
Well,
Not an actual staff of power, the degraded one.
Yeah, the one that was a staff
right.
Didn't it just rotate things or levitate
Yeah.
them slightly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was what I took the statue of.
Yes.
Yep.
so he's like, oh, okay, never mind. Well, okay. So, are you going to Logendoth? Is that the case?
Is Arkin equipped right now?
Do you mean does he have like weapons on him?
Yes.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of like do that like left lean, point over his shoulder. Mind if I take a look at that and
Oh,
like point at the bow?
He looks at you cautiously and he says, "All right."
You can hold it.
Yeah,
Just
no,
wanna look
it's
at
just, okay, fine, here you go. He hands it to you, and it whispers to you as you hold it. It says, "Who is your enemy?"
Laura, Laura.
At first, I don't think he responds. He's gonna check.
family.
Yeah. At first, I don't think he responds. He checks the weight, the material that the bow is made out of. He's kind of flipping it over in his hands.
It's made of pure mithril. It looks like it is a dwarven. Well, no, sorry, it's elven craft, and it is obviously enchanted. If that's not obvious, you can tell that it's probably, it can shoot. Like when, with certain enchantments, it could probably shoot further than a normal bow and more accurately. And other than that, I mean, you might need some time to look at it more, but it's definitely powerful.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
plenty to start off of. I'm gonna respond. I don't know if it's like mentally or out loud. I'll just say like, I don't know. Who's yours?
He looks kind of like, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I suppose that's kind of my whole thing.
Wait, did the bow whisper or did Arkin?
Arkin. Oh, are you talking about?
So I'm
talking to the
responding
bow.
to the bow in whatever manner that makes
Oh,
sense.
I thought you were saying like,
The
how
bow
would I
asked
have
who
yours?
my enemies are, and I'm responding, I don't know, who are yours?
The bow says, I mean, basically, like, I fight the enemies of the elves. The Netherese, for one.
Yeah, Declan will take his thumb and run it across the bowstring,
Mhm.
which is probably decently sharp and well tuned.
Okay, yep.
In order to draw enough blood to ask again. Does that sound about right? How's that feel?
That feels good. Evil magicians. Those that twist people. I want to kill them.
I'll kind of flip the bow back around in my hands and I'll toss it back to Arkin and say, it's a nice bow.
He looks at you and he says, do you want it? I feel like you... Honestly, I'm not going to be killing anything anytime soon. And that bow is designed to kill.
I mean, that's a thing that I do.
The thing I do frequently.
Yeah, sort of my thing. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's not my bow.
He
If
says,
you want to give it to me, I'll take it.
I've been keeping it out of the hands of those that seek vengeance, but at this point, there's no one else that can do what needs to be done. I just hope that you make the right decisions with it.
Just so we're on the same page, I seek vengeance. So, it's your bow. It's your call.
Well, I believe in redemption, and I think that when the time comes, you'll make the right choice or the wrong one, but that's on your conscience. I'm not here to decide what happens. I think that you're a good person.
Does he do anything with the bow?
He whispers to it. He says, no death to my enemies. And the bow kind of like looks like it wilts a little bit for a moment. And then he hands it, or he throws it back to you and he says, swift death to his enemies. That's all you have to do. Swift death to my enemies and point. Just make sure you know who your enemies really are.
Trust me, I have a pretty good fucking idea.
So this is an oath bow. Particularly, it's one that I really like. It's the oath bow from an Adventurers League game that I ran a long time ago. It usually only works for rangers in that one, but this one was designed to defend against this actual Netherese enclave when it was like when they feared it would return. So the one that you're standing in, and I think that it suits you. It was held by elves that like stood for like thousands of years waiting for them to return.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna, he'll catch the bow and test it for a second, tensile strength and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, because I guess he needs a one-liner, he'll turn to Arkin and say, you said, above all else, that you aim for peace. I have a tendency to aim between the eyes. We'll see if we can't find something in the middle.
I'll just let Laura walk with you because at the very least I trust her to arbitrate.
This is the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
The bow says, yes. Will.
Sorry, did he say that to the bow or to Arkin?
Oh no, to the bow.
So I just posted an oath bow in as a handout. There you go. It does a crap ton of damage.
That is a lot of text.
Yeah, it's not really that. It's not that big of a deal. It just gives a lot of it's just rules for a bow during the second half.
Yeah. Skim.
But the problem is if you're deciding you're going to kill something with the bow, you have to kill it with the bow. So that's the only problematic nature of it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. That's just the kind of curse that sounds appropriate for this kind of weapon seeking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you can really choose who you're going to kill and kill them good. Try to get them elven accuracy crits, with an extra 3d6. Oh, thank you, Maeve. Yeah, because we might have to switch rooms for the finale, so everybody should make sure they have what they want. Arkin says, now if you need to find other items, I suggest that you seek a place that you have allies. Silvery Moon might still work. I know that there are people in Sundabar that can make what you need, but if you're trying to stay away from Thokan, it's a whole other thing. There's a man in Sundabar that is known to have craft of some of the finest items available. And I'm trying to find his name. Hold on, it's buried in our handouts. Did I archive those? No, I didn't archive those. Where is the, oh, there it is, brewery. Notes. Session notes, player notes, bakery. There we go. Aha. Oh, there we go. His name is Voli Dwarf Friend. He is currently the ruling master of Sundabar. And I know...
Was he one of the people in the...
Yeah, I'm 99% sure this is one of those bros that was in that basement.
Yeah. He is currently working with the dwarves to reawaken some of their ancient magic item building forges in Sundabar. So if you're looking for weapons and armor in particular, he'd be the best one to go to. As far as magic, wondrous items, you're going to want to seek Waterdeep. And Trezora, who is the daughter of the famous wizard Elminster, would have the most connections of the magical community there. Waterdeep is going to have a lesser selection. And no, before you ask, you can't find those gems of brightness in any market. Trust me, I've tried. For that, you'd have to either seek the Duergar, who mine them to destroy them, or you'd have to seek the dwarves. Likely Sundabar would be the best place to go, somewhere like Mithril Hall. Depends on where you want to be.
Oh, the inn that we frequent.
Whoops! Oops, I spilled their souls.
No. I know, it's like abandoned and boarded up.
Oh,
I like the
they closed.
I'm 99% sure that I mentioned when that happened that all we did was hold the "We are closed" sign over
Yeah.
and just left it there.
Well, and you all can go back
It's essentially our evil lair, Spencer!
You all can go back to Silvery Moon. I just wanted to give you some other places to go that relate to people that you have saved to a certain degree.
Saved and or pissed off.
Pissed off, but then made peace with.
Eh.
Also, I like the idea that Volley and Trezora link back to like some old school Faerun lore.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. So, okay, Arkin hands his bow over to me, and then, like, how does that seem? How does that close? Like, what does he say to us?
I think he says, I mean,
where
like,
are we going?
Obviously, he looks at you and he says, if you survive, what is next? I expect that you'll be going back home. And if you take that bow with you, you better not use it to hurt people there.
You can have the bow back when I'm done with it. I'm not concerned about this. It's... all I've ever wanted to do was go home. And if giving this thing to you makes that happen, then I'm fine with it.
Do you, Jim, want to roll... Do you think we should roll on the legendary or artifact item table for one major benefit and one major flaw of this bow? Or would you rather keep it the way it is?
I mean, I like it the way it is, but if you think that's a thing that we would benefit from, I'm more than happy to roll.
It is only going to add flavor, but it might be incredibly frustrating. And that being the case, that it could be frustrating for you, I want to give you the choice.
Can you link me the table and we'll decide later?
Sure, yeah. Let me... Hold on.
Because if it's like you can't attack with an action, I'm going to be like, fuck you.
Well, I don't think it's that...
You get my point, though.
You
Yeah,
have
more or
to
less,
slaughter
like-
7 cattle or your soul is eaten.
Right. If it's something super arbitrary and not fun, then I don't want it. But if it's something that would add to the immersion, then I'm in.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know, like, if I can just hand over anything else anymore, but it seems like something that Arkan would have, because that was originally a ranger item. So I think that his so not artifact properties. Does anyone know, are artifact properties the only one that have properties, or are there just magic item properties? Oh, I know. Okay, I think I got it. We can keep going. So he says, no, I mean, honestly, I think that all of you should decide if you want to go gear up first. I can transport you there. And this can be a safe haven for you to rest and recuperate. Although it looks like you have something that could help with that.
Does he, like, nod towards that rod of
Yeah.
whatever?
He says, we can attune it to this place too, if you'd like.
I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody's been using it as a walking stick, so fine.
Okay.
If you can make it more useful than that, great.
All right. It will still lock you outside of time, but that might be a benefit more than anything. So originally it was tied to the island where Wave was forged. It can still go there, but it can now also take you here. It can really go anywhere you want to by the items design, but I think it's enough that you have these two locations. So there you go. Okay, so he says, I need a destination. I can take you anywhere you want for, if you're going to go directly to Hlagendoth, I can send you there. I just don't know if you'll be able to find any thing that will help you. You'll be able to find people that might be able to help you, but you'll have to overcome Einar's situation first, whoever is working with him.
And Hlagendoth is the... Sorry.
Oh, Hlagendoth is the crashed Netherese enclave.
Okay,
So the island
yeah,
like this one that Einar lives on. Yep.
Schmeckles.
Oh no. Not my Neo Shekels. That's what I should do. I should only run Cyberpunk games from now on.
Spencer,
Yeah?
is there a chia in the ring of spell storing?
Ooh, that's a great idea. I think that is indeed what is in there.
I had 2 mirror images, so I think there's plenty of room for a Chia.
There is room for a Chia. That's right.
So, pretty much anyone is able to cast Find Familiar, and it only summons Chia.
Yep.
Ring of Chia summoning.
Perfect. The accomplice to every crime we've experienced as a party.
You could put it that way. But, I mean, Chia hasn't been seen in 600 years. It's very possible that he's entirely unaware of everything going on with Mimi.
Okay, yeah, what we'll do... Sorry, just to get back to this last thing. So what we'll do for your bow is, if you want, I'll show you the tables for minor and major, or minor detrimental and minor beneficial, and you can decide if you want to use those. I'll put those in chat.
Sure. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay, where are you going? I can't make this decision for you.
No, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what my translation is in Elvish, since that's what has to happen. So, I'm working on that item. The prevailing opinion of the party was 4-2 Einar over Thokan, so we are going to go try to enlist Einar for help.
Okay. So we're going to Vlagendoth, it sounds like.
If that's where it makes the most sense, unless, sounds like maybe.
I mean, yeah. If I'm not spelling it out clear enough, and I really have, it doesn't bother me. Like, we can go. So you can go to a place for a shopping trip first, or you can go to your first destination for
Is it possible to do a shopping trip on the floating island, or do they not have businesses?
Emiya, what do you think? I never had really thought there'd be other people here, because he kind of banished all the Netheries. But what do you think?
I think it would be cool if there's spirity people who have shops and stuff, and they have their own lives, but they're
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think that with Arkan's presence here, you could probably find any uncommon magic item you want, or lower, but I think that to get the other stuff, I think it would be good for you all to at least hobnob really quickly with someone else for that, but that's just my opinion.
I don't understand what you just asked us to do.
Okay. So, for things that are at the power of the bow you have, for instance, because you technically the sane magic items pricing sheet, which is not perfect, has a lot. You could buy one of those on there. That's the reason why I'm giving you the option to add some special properties to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy one of those there, but I'm just saying, I think so. Just weaker magic items, your regular everyday +1 sword and stuff like that, you could probably get here. But so that's uncommon magic item. But if you want something better, you'd probably have to go talk with one of the people in Waterdeep or Sundabar, because I think that would help you all have more connection to the world But that's up to you. If you'd rather fast forward, I hadn't thought much about this enclave and what Arkan would have on there. If anyone has anything about what they think would be cool, I can help flavor it with you.
Spencer.
Yes.
So Laura made a sword with Arkin, right?
Yeah, I assumed
Is
you'd
that-
probably want to build something, and that can be your special thing, or it cannot be. It's up to you.
Can it, instead of a sword,
Hmm.
be the 52 magical cards?
Yeah, I thought you might
that
say
Laura
that.
has?
Yeah, I think that because like what she was building at the beginning was a sword, but I think I meant to be more vague about what she dropped into the cooling bath at the end. So yeah, I think that would work really well. Yes, any uncommon magic item that isn't a gem of brightness. Alright, so if you don't want to spend money here on uncommon magic items, you can go to another place, you can go to Flogendoth. Unless you all have any argument as to why you think you could get anything here. But there's probably like ghosties here that are building things, pretty much.
I have a question about Red.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good... Go ahead.
Can I go through a conversation between Red and Arkin that might have happened earlier?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to start first, or should I?
So, Arkin took Red and number 9 to the, to somewhere. I don't know where.
Maybe to like get something to eat, even though number 9 doesn't have to eat.
Sure.
Okay.
And Red is just talks to Arkin about, you know, the Deglin doesn't have to have this prisoner. After all, he's my prisoner. I'm the one who resurrected him. And like, oh gosh, my head is really hot. Sorry. I forgot what I was talking about. Fuck. Oh wait, so pretty much Red tries to convince Arkin to not let Deglin torture this guy in the future, and also to take her home.
He says, oh, you don't want to join your friends? Or are you trying to protect someone else?
I don't know if I really have any friends.
Well, I'll be your friend.
Oh, except Wave. Wave is my friend. I
Well,
can't do the sexy deep voice.
Be
Fuck.
careful with that thing. It's I mean, it literally has a mind of its own.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to be my friend. It would just be a fork.
Right. No, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Okay, but where's home for you now? Back to the forest? Wave is like, or we could go to the islands. I can show you everything. You want to see Evermeet?
Evermeet? I've heard of Evermeet before.
Okay, Spencer, you asked about uncommon magic items. The answer is yes. I want a broom of flying.
Okay. Okay, there you go. You can buy one of them.
But I'm not sure if I'm going to. I don't know.
It's
I'm
totally
conflicted.
gonna be made of metal. Okay, so Evermeet is, it's where the elves went because they decided this place is lame. Everyone here is like fighting all the time, and the elves and Evermeet just get along and hang out. It's like a beach party all the time.
They probably know some things that I could benefit from learning. Sure, let's go to Evermeet.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that taught the Netherese magic after all, so they got all sorts of fun, cool stuff. And then as you're kind of like...
Meanwhile, Arkin's like, oh, fucking idiot.
Yeah. As you disappear, she's like, or we could go to, there's some islands in the middle of the, oh god, what's it called? This, anyway, it's where the Emerald Enclave live. They fight pirates. You can fight pirates. And then she kind of disappears with you as you're kind of being sent to Evermeet. I think that you do get like a token from Arkin that kind of is like a signal that you need help, you know, like his holy symbol.
The fuck Arkin's holy symbol? She's already got a holy symbol. It's tattooed on her arm.
Well, there you go. You don't need it.
I don't need no redemption gods.
Fine. All right. So that was. I hope that wasn't too quick, but I think that you and Wave are gonna have some adventures together. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as Whelm, I think that, you know, Arkin will also point out like that item is incredibly precious to the dwarves. They would do anything to get it back. But I mean, it would literally be any dwarven kingdom you could hand it to, and they'd probably give you everything they own for it.
Interesting.
I know what you're thinking, Declan. No. Bad. Bad
Right.
Declan.
What? Why? You wouldn't trade an item we can't use for an army that could turn the tide?
Oh, I kind of thought you were talking
So
about
you
slaves.
don't know what I'm thinking.
Maybe my mind-reading powers haven't yet come in.
Maybe my mind reading powers were Witchfire drafts based.
I want to ask you, Ryan, do you have anything that you want? Because this is a really good time for you to like do an item grab, especially if you're going to pay for it, or, you know, because I know that that's something you've been thinking about.
Extrapolate up in
I'm
this
trying to
bitch.
think. Honestly, something. I don't know. I don't know what magic items exist.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole economy for it. I can link the sheet, and then otherwise, if you can't afford what you want, it's gonna just basically be, this is like the quest portion for that sort of thing. So,
I mean, if I can offer a suggestion, don't look for an item that can fit what you want to do. Figure out what you can't do, and then look for an item based on it, right?
mhm.
If you're pissed off because your performance bonus is too low, look for an item that increases your performance bonus, I guess.
Yeah. I am putting it in chat. Doop.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna need time to think about it. I honestly don't know.
Sure. You think you could figure out between now and next Sunday?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think that's just a
Well,
reasonable limit.
And part of
I
this
don't
is
know.
you
I've
don't
been
know-
thinking about this since last week, and I still don't have an answer.
Totally reasonable.
yeah. All right. Well. Oh man, I'm reading those detrimental properties, Declan, and if you rolled and got a 96 to 100, if your flaw is like being like vengeful or like something like that, it gets magnified in a way determined by the DM. That's funny.
Is it? What did you send it as a PM or?
It's a screenshot, but it might be too blurry for you to see. Oh no, if you
Just
open it in the browser.
Where is it? Because I'm in like a
I
bajillion fucking...
I pinged you in the Discord. It's
That's what I'm saying is
It's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's in the section on magic items.
Okay, it's in cast private in the Dungeon Dummy chat.
Thank you.
And then for Ed, I put sane magic item prices, which isn't perfect, and I get veto power on anything, but it's at least something. It's kind of hard to buy rare items with as much money you have, but it's a good way to burn your gold to get...
Yeah, speaking of which, I did not put the money together before this session. Apparently there was a breakdown between what do we have after last session versus what do we have after the dungeon. So I'm already working on it.
It's fine.
We'll have an actual number between now and
None of us
next.
did the prep we needed to do. At least I don't feel so left
perfect.
out. Yeah, Many, as far as what you're looking for, that is really tricky. You would probably need something that, like, because I don't think you can even use a ring of spell storing or something like that while you're a bear, you know. But wait, I'm looking at this list now. Do you all have a tentacle rod?
That sounds familiar.
Didn't you steal the Drow's tentacle rod, or did you give it back to her?
Well, here's the thing. If it was a rod and or stick, it's probably in hell on a Christmas tree.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the bird took the stick.
Okay. Well, there we go. That's what you get for retiring a character in this game.
Hey, I didn't do shit.
You could always go on a quest to...
oh no!
To find...
Liberate the bird!
Wasn't he snorted? No, wait, he was...
Nope.
Yes, he was turned into a Christmas tree. I forgot about that.
No, only the...
He's a Christmas ornament now.
Yeah.
To be fair, being snorted does not disqualify you from celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like, AC items and stuff that you all might be able to afford, like a brooch of shielding. I don't know, whatever you want. Find it.
Did you say Birch of Shielding?
Mm-hmm. That's an uncommon magic item.
So, I mean, just to put a cap on this whole thing,
right?
Is it fair to say that we're not going to advance in any reasonable way towards a combat and or conflict scenario between now and next Sunday, so
if you're going,
everybody has the opportunity to figure out what they want and which path they want to take for whatever, and
if you're
is that reasonable, or did you have something?
If you're going to Hlogendoth, then that may be something that happens. I just need like a definitive answer, because like I can't. I mean, if you're like, well, we do shopping, but then we'll figure it out on a Thursday or something like that.
Sure.
I guess I could.
Yeah, no, if they're shopping, let's figure it out now.
Yeah. But I mean, if you don't want to sit around and shop, it's like, what's the difference between doing it now and between doing it Thursday?
Is it fair to say if anybody wants anything, they need to buy it between now and next?
Yeah, I think I think really all of you should get to defining your character's abilities and items, because I'm going to try to get to a point where I'm going to push what you all should be able to do at your level to like 5,000%. So I want you to be over-equipped item-wise for that.
Sure.
And that's basically it. That's all I could say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I just figured it's like, well, it's 11:22, and I don't see us diving face first into that dungeon. So this is a good time to be like, okay, guys, we're out of game. If anybody wants to ask questions about, blah blah, or ask questions about how they're going to build their character or what the fuck ever. So it's probably a good time to do that.
Right. Yeah. It's time for Ed to buy some gauntlets of ogre power or something.
Exactly.
I got a free character rebuild. So I feel really weird asking for things.
I mean, technically so did Rob, it's just that you got to keep your items. That was the big difference. But other than that...
Well, Rob made a new character. I just fucking changed all the things about my character.
Yeah, but you helped me with a lot of stuff too. So that's something I was actually saying in like an advice forum. I was like, yeah, if you want to not DM all the time, have one of your players do a bunch of work for you and then show them that they're doing a better job than you can do. And then they'll want to run a game.
Yeah, I like the idea, this through line that, like, Acerak is the dungeon master, but, like, oh, he really just wishes Mimi was the dungeon master. There's this weird, oppressive vibe to that. In the best possible way.
Oh, yeah.
Mimi, can you just run Dragon Heist instead of me running it?
And then...
Okay, Acerak, I'll run Dragon Heist, but I'll run it in my own setting.
Declan, can you afford a Scimitar of Speed?
I am refreshing my
Almost
browser
certainly.
because it was
There's 6,000.
super fun. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
There are a bunch of unique magic items in Dragon Heist. There's a bracer of flying daggers, like, that's not a thing that's in anything else.
Why do you ask about that specific?
Oh, I don't
scenario?
actually.
Yes.
It's actually not that good for you because you can't. I mean, it doesn't give you any benefit to attack with the bonus action with it. It's just, yeah. It would be one weapon. It's good if you have a shield. It's good for a druid that doesn't want to use Shillelagh.
And sorry, you were saying something, Emiya?
I forgot. Laura wants to be taught how to use a bow.
Well, there we go.
I mean, he wouldn't object to you learning, if that's the general... I mean, is that what you're asking?
Laura wants Declan to teach her how to use a bow.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, he would not object to you learning how to do that with him teaching you. It's like, yeah, sure, he'd be happy to show you.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Also, looking at the cost that they have the oath bow at, I'll let you dip in 1-for-1 to major beneficial and major detrimental properties. So you can decide
Yeah,
how many
I mean,
of those you want to take.
I don't want to get lost, so just like if
I will.
you could
I'm doing it.
let me know exactly what
It's
tables and/or counterpoints I'm choosing from, I'd be happy to do it.
yeah. It'll be easy. It's 1 for 1. Like it's not 2 for 1 like artifacts get. You
Sure.
get to choose how many you think this item would have 1 for 1. 1 good, 1 bad.
Perfect.
Oh shit, I just realized that. Wait, what the fuck? I just realized that Laura can totally, like, make Ed be evil when he's not evil in exchange for 25 silver pieces of. Or, sorry, 25 GP worth of silver powder. That's awesome.
Yeah, but
I
then,
feel like. Oh, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, wouldn't the armor then just undo that anyway?
Well, it would undo that the next day, but it would, like, he would stay his original alignment while Laura is, after Laura did that until the next day comes.
Got it.
So pretty much it would last for one session, based on the way that he's been doing things.
Okay.
Oh, so I didn't scare people with my. I know I do that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. Yeah, I mean, I think you all have enough gold because all of you have like 7,000 to 10,000 gold somewhere in there. So y'all have enough to buy 2 like really scary things, and then like if you want to spend time questing for more, that's what I'll build.
What did we figure out the gold was from last session? 2,000
We don't
something,
know.
or was there? Okay.
I don't think, do we?
So I was a bit. I thought I had the last session, but it turns out like there isn't a running total. So I'm gonna do from the beginning of White Plume to the end of White Plume, and I should have it up in the next, I don't know, half hour.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Did anyone claim the Ring of Protection?
I think
I'll put
Um,
loot up
did.
2, and then we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one that I would like if I can have it, but I think I'd also wanted it.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad we've figured out our.
You should all go into the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, go to the in-game channel, and post things.
What? This is League
just
of
gonna
Extraordinary
ping all of you.
Adventurers. What is a gentleman in?
The loose confederation of somewhat polite people.
The United Collection of Workers?
Hey,
Workers of the world unite against a Sararak.
But there's no ass or crack in my video.
Ass crack?
Ass crack.
No one has ass cracks in Golden Crest.
They don't. I don't know why y'all think it's so weird that nobody in Golden Crest has an ass crack. It's normal.
I have a very strong feeling that that wouldn't work, because if you're not going to start your adventure in the sewers, then, like, who are you and what are we doing?
Well, you have to start in prison, like Elder Scrolls games.
Ah,
And nobody shits in prison.
I don't like that guilty until proven innocent thing. Like, hey man, I just rolled this character. I don't know what he did.
All right. Well, I do apologize if I didn't give you enough to chew on. I mean, is there anything that anybody wants to do with the? I mean, you can go anywhere. You have a god helping you out. He's just kind of limited in where he can go. because of plot reasons.
I want to go back to Strade's Gallows and pull more cards from the deck of many things.
Okay. I think that machine broke down and lit on fire, if I remember correctly. I wish for more wishes with Maeve's wish.
Why don't we have a deck of Laura's things?
Because not everybody wants to do drugs, god damn it.
Oh.
Wow.
This turned into a into the Thursday session, the fireside, real quick.
I think that's okay though. Like it feels like after a number of really intense, meticulous dungeon crawls, that like a chance to step back and be like, okay, who are our characters and how do they feel? Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. And so what? You know, we end 45 minutes early or an hour and a half early or whatever the fuck it might be. Space to decompress is a valuable thing. Like, it's hard to say what your character would think important if we're just, you know, I check for traps, I roll my check, I do XYZ. Like, there's more to people than that.
I agree. Yeah, and I think that I needed to give those of you that aren't like 100% combat focused gamers a break to make some choices. And I think for now what you're telling me is you need some more time to think. Now that you know what options you have, just make sure you do that. And I'm going to try to do the same. I'll try to respect the decisions that you have to make. By actually...
I mean, what I would say prep-wise is we're 4-2 Einar.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we need to do to go there,
right,
and however we are received when we get there, is probably good enough to at least start with. But
yeah, because all I had were concept images for Hlogendoth, and like I was like, and this was back when that was even an option. I was like, if that ever happened, it would be, you know, like, okay, I just better like make sure that I have an idea of what it looks like ready, and then I can kind of freeball it if, you know, if I didn't know what to do. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So. But this time, I won't make a dungeon. It will be something that's probably not even Donjon related. It'll probably be more like when you all did the Jalanthar stuff. Except I'll probably have a little bit more interesting stuff going on there. Yay.
oh damn,
What?
new map.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this one. This one had the, like, the Hlogendoth approach up in the corner. It's interesting because Azkor is in Storm King's Thunder, and it's pretty much the same concept as Hlogendoth, but Hlogendoth hasn't really been used in fiction, so that's fun. As far as I can tell, I might be wrong, it might be in Storm King's Thunder. I never played it. I own it. Shoot.
There was a lot of roleplay today.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't expect to be capable of that.
I'm sorry. I think fighting requires more focus, especially on my part. I don't have to do anything in times like this. I just have to give you a menu of things to do and people to talk to, and you can talk to who you want to talk to.
Combat is really easy for Laura. I mean, I guess now it's probably a little bit more complicated because she's got a lot of abilities. But it's stuff.
I wouldn't even call it like. I mean, as opposed to roleplay, it feels more like decompression. Like, your characters, you know, at least reasonably can't be like, I fight, I fight, I fight, and I fight. They might need a 20-minute or 1 day period to just chill the fuck out.
Catharsis, I think is the right word. I might be
Sure.
wrong.
Yeah, that probably fits.
All right.
Friendship speeches.
Well, shoot. For those of you that were looking forward to a fight, I will admit I did not come into this with a plan. I just kind of tried to see what
Can
happened.
I fight Arkin?
Yes, you can. Let's do it. Let me go.
Let's fight Arkin and Red and Mimi.
Uh-huh. Okay, let me go pull out some, like, a planetar from here.
They all cast Disintegrate.
Yeah.
Fighting Arkin is pretty easy because, like, he's afraid to fight.
That's true.
He's like Laura on drugs. Wait, no, that's not
No,
right.
he just literally
Or
will
not,
let people
right.
hit him. Because he's just like, hey, there's no point, man. I get more powerful even if I don't fight. Which it's funny because that's my approach to fighting. Like literally, when I've been punched in the face before and had like my teeth broken, and like my reaction to pain is to laugh, and it like eventually people just stop hitting you because they feel confused. So they're it is not a bad way to go. That sounded weird. Anyway.
I don't think it was weird, but like, counterpoint. That's exactly why, if any of you have kids, you should send them to train in some sort of martial art at some point in their life.
Yeah.
Because it's not about beating somebody up. It's about keeping yourself from and other people around you from getting beaten up. And like, I get that. I'm not gonna judge you for your reaction. That's a perfectly plausible reaction, but like, it's a really nice feeling when somebody is picking on somebody else to go up to that person and ask them to stop, and they stop because they've either, experienced firsthand the fact that you can make them stop or respect the fact that you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, deterrence is a beautiful thing.
I just prefer to let people stop on their own accord. It's like if someone were to murder me because I didn't stop them, like that's
Joke's on you, idiot. I'm dead.
Basically, like that's the way that I think about things. And I know a lot of people are like, you're an idiot, Spencer. But I don't know. I just personally think like if someone's violent against me and I retaliate in any way, like I personally just don't. I mean, and that's probably why I would never be Antifa or anything. And like I have a lot of friends that say like, you're privileged, you should go fight fascists and help people that are underprivileged and underclass. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the way my brain works. Like I don't ever think violence is the answer.
Violence begets violence, pretty much, regardless of the circumstance. So,
anyway. One time someone tried to start a fight with me and I took my pants off and then they walked away. That was the best outcome.
deterrence!
Oh, jeez, it reminds me of a video of the guy doing that.
Yeah, I did that before that video came out because I'm that hipster.
He was naked, though, were you?
No, I wasn't naked. Gosh.
Okay.
It was really
You had
cold
fall
out. I
damage.
was in Montana.
Spencer is the OG of stripping in the face of violence.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if no one has any, like, can I do this questions, then we're just sitting here on stream being silly, so at least I'm gonna cut that to pity our one viewer. Because you really, like, I appreciate you being here, or maybe he's gone by now. But, anyway, that was a good time. Alright, I'll cut that. I'm gonna grab a snack. Wait, I shouldn't have a bedtime snack. That's the worst thing to do. Anyway. Goodbye, Twitch. I'm gonna have to cut some highlights out of this because it was a weird thing. I will actually do that this time. Okay.